Hello, this is Darice, and welcome back to Moon Life Astro. And if you're new, welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about the upcoming new moon in Cancer, which is going to be June 25th. Before I get into that, though, just come to check in real quick, see how everyone is doing. I'm feeling pretty good these days. I'm actually recording this a few days before the new moon. I definitely feel like the energy has shifted in a good way, at least for me individually. I know there's a lot of stressful things happening in the world and in the collective. Um, and I'm hoping that by the end of the summer, there'll be more clarity, less confusion, less fog. I'm hoping that that'll be one of the results of, some of the other astrological transits coming up this summer. But I'm hoping at least individually in your personal lives, in your business, in your professional lives, that you are at least feeling some momentum. I know many of my friends I've been speaking to and other folks I know, they are definitely feeling that shift. Jupiter moving into Cancer. Some beautiful things are already beginning to happen for people. So I'm hoping that this transit in Jupiter and Cancer is going to be auspicious for you as well. Um, Even though things have not really changed that dramatically for myself in my own life or in my day job or in my business, I just feel like there's more hope, there's more optimism, I have more energy for the things I'm truly committed to. And I think that's definitely the result of Jupiter moving into Cancer. And I think I finally feel like all that Piscean energy that we had at the beginning of the year that was leading to a lot of fatigue and emotional exhaustion and stress. I feel like we finally cleared that energy and it's given me more energy. Or maybe it's just Saturn being in Aries as well. I think that's been one of the advantages to that, having that fire energy in the collective as well. I think that's also part of what's driving some of the other stressful things that we are witnessing on the world stage. Um, and like I've said before in my other videos, and I'll probably continue to remind people of this as well, is that sometimes things have to get worse before they can get better. I do feel like a lot of the breakdowns that we are experiencing is because something new can be built that in the long run will be better for folks. So I'm hoping that that's what the case is. But for this coming new moon, it's got a few interesting aspects. It's going to be happening June 25th, and it's going to be exact at 6:31 a.m. Eastern Time. New moon in Cancer. It will be conjunct Jupiter, hope, and expansion. It's going to square Saturn, which can bring in some pressure, a reality check. And it's also going to be squaring Neptune. And so this might be an experience of either confusion or divine trust. But I'll get into that in a minute. Basically, a new moon is when the moon is positioned between the sun and the earth. And the moon, it faces away from the earth, being illuminated by the sun. And so, from our perspective, it looks like the moon is dark. And so, this is why new moons are an opportunity to set intentions. I feel like new moons basically mimic that experience of being in the womb or in the dark, or when you plant seeds in the ground. Effectively, what is new often begins in the dark. And so I think that's why throughout humanity's time on Earth, the new moon has been celebrated as a time to set new intentions. And then 6 months from now, that full moon, then the seeds and intentions that you plant now will ideally be coming to fruition or completion 6 months from now. So now what makes this new moon in Cancer really special? Because like I said, Cancer did just recently enter Jupiter. So it's an opportunity to look at where do you want to have expansion from a place of emotional nourishment. This is the time to be looking at intentions that will have that sense of being nurtured, being sustained. We want to have clarity around what we're creating and how it's going to serve us. Cancer is emotional water. It's also at the beginning of a new season, summer. So, because Cancer is about emotional safety, inner security, and boundaries, we could also be looking at our relationships to our family, our legacy, and how do we want to express our feminine in our leadership. And how do we want to do that as an individual? And then as more people do that individually, this could eventually be reflected in the outer collective as well. So this lunation, it's about resetting the emotional foundation of your life and your business. Um, One other way to think about this is you can simply just ask yourself, where do I need to come home to myself? Like I said, it's going to be conjunct Jupiter in Cancer. So growth, our purpose, our wisdom. This is an opportunity to have some big picture dreaming. Um, this could be a moment to really look at what do you want to plant in terms of like your legacy. And I'm not saying that what you do between now and the next 6 months has to be a reflection of your legacy. It's just an idea to think about what are the projects, the themes that you're bringing into fruition, that you're making real in the world. How do you want that to ultimately be a reflection of your legacy? I think this could be one really good use of that energy. And so, as a result of that, this could be a great time to look at your vision process, your visioning, some of those long term intentions that you started at the beginning of the year. Could be a good time to revisit those and then look at what new intentions or amended intentions need to be put in place at this time. The shadow aspect of this new moon, it could lead to wanting to overpromise or overdeliver, or maybe even emotionally overindulge. If you do feel off track, or if you feel like things are not going the way you want them to, or if you do have these intentions, but you feel like you have no way to actually have that um, come into form for you, and so I just invite you to be gentle with yourself if that is what's happening for you, to really like simply sit and see what comes to the surface. You don't have to have all the answers now, but what's great about a new moon is just to give yourself permission to at least put the intentions down, to write them down or to draw them if that feels more comfortable to you. And we also do have the Saturn squaring this new moon. Saturn again is in Aries. And so, one way to think about this is that growth can often come with structure, or in many ways, the only times we can have growth is with structure. And that's what Saturn is always reminding us, teaching us that discipline and boundaries, form is what we need in order to make things real. Now, what's great about Aries, it's about self leadership, independence, and starting. So this square, it may highlight what's currently not sustainable for you, what hasn't been sustainable. It might also reveal to you where you've simply been pushing yourself too hard emotionally. This may bring up a feeling of needing to have it all together. And again, take the pressure off of yourself. Recognize that you have your own unique divine timing, and that if something is not happening in the way you want it to happen, I like to think of that as a divine delay, that if things are not going according to my plan or my timeline, that there's a good reason for that. That God, the universe, higher power, whatever you want to think about it, is putting a slow down or a roadblock up because I either need more information, or maybe the people I meant to do that project with, maybe they're not ready yet. That could be part of the equation. So at the end of the day, just focus on what you can do now. What steps can you take now? And where do you need more support? Maybe you need to revisit how you're doing a particular thing. Maybe you need a different system for structuring things. Maybe, for example, you need a different contact management system if you're having trouble following up with prospects, that sort of thing. Or maybe you need a new system for tracking your business expenses and your accounting. Maybe what you currently have now is not working for you. The other aspect of this new moon is going to be squaring Neptune in Pisces. And so that could bring up this question of, am I experiencing fog or is it faith? Again, Neptune, dreams, illusions, intuition, and divine surrender. So like I was saying, these divine delays, this could be highlighted by this square in Neptune. So if there is a sense of uncertainty, overwhelm, or emotional confusion, take the time to really check in with yourself. Ask, where is it coming from? Is this from unrealistic expectations I have of myself or my business or the market? Or do I need to just have faith? Is there a risk I need to take? But only you can know the truth, which side of this is on. Well, which side of the equation are you on right now? This could be asking you to step into a new level of deep spiritual trust. This could be an opportunity to experience some kind of spiritual, mystical opening. At the end of the day, allow the clarity to come from within and not have it be based on your to-do list. A potential affirmation: it is safe to not know. I trust what is forming beneath the surface. Another way to potentially work with this new moon as a solopreneur: feel before you force. This is a great time to prioritize clarity over speed and to create space for rest and not just work or output. And you could also set some intentions around work-life harmony, your intuitive leadership, and whatever emotional boundaries you also need to strengthen. I'd also give you a potential new moon ritual to work with. Again, it's going to be exact 6:31 a.m. June 25th, but you can do the new moon ritual a day or two before, or even the day of the new moon, or that day after. Like I said, with all moons, you feel the energy about 3 days leading up to it most intensely, and then it kind of falls off after the actual moon. So I usually like to do my own new moon rituals or intentions either the day before the new moon or the day of the new moon. So again, you could focus on emotional renewal, sacred boundaries, and new beginnings that are rooted in your soul's purpose. And again, you may need to have some intentions around your home, your family dynamics, anything that leads to you being able to self-nurture, self-soothe. And you could also have intentions around making your business, your mission, your purpose more heart-led. And also look at potentially setting intentions around your emotional energy management. Are you taking time to take care of yourself, to exercise, to eat healthy, to rest, take breaks, that sort of thing? Crystals to work with: Moonstone, feminine wisdom, emotional flow; Lepidolite, that can help calm the nervous system or create more trust if you're going through a transition. And black tourmaline is always great for grounding, protection, or helping minimize energetic overwhelm. Some potential journal prompts: what does emotional alignment in my business look like? Where am I being invited to expand with heart, not hustle? What structure or support do I need to hold my next level? Part of the ritual after you complete the journal prompts, either by meditating or writing, you can cleanse your space with water or herbs or an incense spray. And then you could write down the 3 intentions that support your emotional and energetic sovereignty. And then to complete, you can place your hand on your heart and whisper, I receive with ease what nourishes me. And if necessary, you can pause the video, go back and replay them, slow it down, do it as you go, or write it down ahead of time to do the ritual, whatever is most convenient for you. Oh, and at this point, please, if you are getting value from these videos and if this is helping and supporting you, please do remember to subscribe to the channel and also to hit the like button. In the comments, you could also put in the comments new moon, or maybe you can even list your new moon rituals that you're planning to do, or if you have different new moon affirmations that you'd like to use. But basically, this is keeping it pretty short, pretty simple. This new moon is basically an emotional expansion and a chance to practice practical boundaries and spiritual realignment. Again, this is not about having all the answers, but simply creating the space for the answers to arise to the surface. And again, feel free to comment below if you have your own new moon rituals that you like to do, if you have your own crystals you like to work with. I do appreciate your time and your attention. I'm wishing you all the best, sending you lots of love, joy, peace, and ease. And easefully yours, Darice.